Peace, good love, think fast. How's the vibrate? Of course, of course. Want to speak on the little sneaky tactics of the ego when it comes to dealing with information, accepting information. You done caught yourself. Say for instance, when we talking on this conscious information, you notice that the people who don't want to grow in that moment, like say for instance, if you're having this conversation out in the open, the people who not trying to grow is not going to gravitate towards that conversation. They're not even trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, in essence, the ego is smart on a level where it knows the information that's going to kill it, in essence. So when people are sharing information that could help a person grow away from their egoic mind, if that egoic mind is strong within that person, they're gonna get the influence to walk away from that conversation. But that's one of many little things. Because too, I was gonna speak on the aspect of this lawyer-like vibe, of like this argumentative strategy, so to speak, that people use in order to hinder a person from sharing information as if it was true. In essence, and you'll see what I'm talking about as I get more into it. As a matter of fact, it made me think of the reptilian book. Matter of fact, because that's what I was thinking about, how it's like almost like a lawyer tactic. Like you're really not like this vibe I'm talking about. What I'm about to talk about is really not proving a person wrong. It's like some little slick way to make a person look bad, so that you can make your point that you're making look good. In essence, But at the same time, it's like just making your point look good, but not necessarily it being the truth. You know what I'm saying? But also, and I just for the fact of you realizing and to show others that this exists, so y'all can see. But if you go look up the reptilian book, go look up a book called Reptilian. As a matter of fact, more so on Amazon. And you'll found the right copy when you see that the price is probably like $900. Then you found the right book. But the book is called Reptilian, and it's basically the book that that the top upper echelon lawyers, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like on some fraternity hey, this is the book if you're really about that business, which is funny because I'm not a lawyer, so how I get earshot of that information, but anyway, it's a book, and I caught the vibe though that book probably has this type of strategy that I'm going to speak on within it, you know what I'm saying? But basically, so say for instance, I caught a vision of explaining spirituality to like my family and friends and people who don't, who's new to this information. And I'm explaining, how water holds vibration, and the crystals vibrate at a certain frequency, so that's how they're able, you know what I'm saying? So you could be explaining all these things, and then somebody will ask you, so say for instance, I'm explaining about, let's say aspects of water with spirituality, and I explain in a way for you to grasp it, but here comes the ego on some, well, explain like why water holds vibration, those questions where that person is not really going to get nothing out of it, well, basically, so the strategy is to ask you something that's going to make you look like a fool, you know what I'm saying? So basically, you done seen people use this strategy before, where you say, for instance, you eating their ass alive in a what is a argument, conversation, whatever. But basically, you're eating them alive at making truth, facts, and making your point. You know what I'm saying? But just stating facts and stating truths. You know what I'm saying? You killing it. So what that person will do, in order to throw things off, they're gonna either ask you something to get you completely away from the subject, or they're gonna ask you to explain something that they feel that you may seem like a fool explaining, you know what I'm saying? Because what they basically trying to do is create a situation where, you start fumbling over your words. And what that does, so say for, and reason why I'm tying this to a court of law, you know what I'm saying? Because subconsciously, say for instance, how this works on the subconscious, you know, subconsciously, when you see somebody like stuttering and like, you know, well, you know, it's a deep situation, and you know what I'm saying, when you hear a person talking like that, subconsciously, you know, we kind of tie that to a person not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's why a person, you know, in a conversation is trying to get you to a place of not being able to explain something, even if it has nothing to deal with the, you know, with proving the point of the argument that y'all dealing with. They just trying to get you to look or sound stupid in some way, form, or fashion, so it could just give them some little morality points, like, explain this, you know. And here comes the big thing, like, well, say for instance, that person like, explain why water holds vibration. Me not being able to explain why water holds vibration doesn't negate the fact or take away the fact that, you know, water holds vibration. You know what I'm saying? So say for I'm trying to think of an example.
I mean, they told me I thought I tried to talk to you.
Yeah, so basically like well, you know, why does I'm trying to think of a good one. But basically, you know, even if so they might ask you to explain this. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think. So somebody might ask me to explain why garnet gives off a fiery energy. And in that moment, I may not have all the particulars of, you know, where this element connect this element. And so say for they be like, why garnet has a fire energy? And I'll be like, well, you know, honestly, my brother, I'm not too well versed in that information. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't, so almost in essence, well, since you can't explain it, and that means it's not true. But no, just because I don't have the knowledge to share with you in this moment doesn't mean that this still doesn't hold to be true. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's another little strategy of, you know, like a lawyer strategy and of people's ego that's trying to keep them from getting to these higher levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're going to have them type of questions, you know. So matter of fact, you could tell when somebody's ego is controlling them, in essence. Like if you ever explaining some spiritual information to a person and they go to asking questions in that manner, like what it's asking you to explain something to the T. Matter of fact, and here it is where they barely grasping the smaller concepts, but then they'll ask you a question or explain it on a big, you know what I'm saying, explain on a big level. That's basically their ego trying to find some type of way to make you babble over your words. And if you babble over your words, it's gonna make you seem, to the subconscious mind, gonna make you seem like you don't know what you're saying, you know. And in that case, that person, you know, won the conversation in essence, just because you couldn't explain the wholeness of a situation that still remains to be true, regardless if you could explain it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole thing. It's like again, but a person trying to get you to explain something to make you look bad, but when in essence, regardless if you could explain it or not, the fact still remains. You know what I'm saying? So just speaking on how, you know, just speaking on that situation and how people, you know, try to deal with it. Because another reason why I'm speaking on it and why we speak on any, so say for instance, reason why it's important to shine a light on these situations, and literally and figuratively speaking, for that situation of shining a light. Like when we dealing with our shadows, when we shine a light in a certain area, you know, a shadow no longer exists wherever I'm shining a light at. You know what I'm saying? So basically, by shining a light on this aspect right here, you know, there'll no longer be a dark space for that ignorance to hide in. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody in this that watches this video is aware of this and it makes others aware, or like when they in a conversation like, hey bro, you just trying to make me, you know, deal with this information, you know, basically, you know, you'll be able to put on blast, like, you know, shine the light. That way less people will be able to use that tactic, you know, when all of us could see the bullshit in that tactic and all of us call bullshit on it. with any and all things, you know, like with the if the government doing whatever it's doing under closed doors, it starts by us exposing it first. That's why it's a balance between speaking on some of the things that they may doing, but then like fear mongering yourself by paying attention to it too much. You know what I'm saying? But by awareness of something and shining a light on something, you're taking that shadow aspect away, and by taking a shadow away, you're taking a hiding spot away. So that energy no longer has a spot to hide in when it's exposed. Like exposed that these lawyers using these reptilian books. You know what I'm saying? When that's exposed, then when you say if you happen, of course you don't want to deal with the court system for anything, but where you could inform people to these situations where it's understood, where it's like, all right, damn, so everybody could see, even the ignorant people, like, oh shit, so they really are doing us like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, shine a light so they can't hide in that shadow. So right now they lurking and hiding in that little shadow. Gotta expose it. So again, yeah, it's like a strategy. The strategy is basically trying to get you to talk about any subject that you would basically like lack confidence in. You know what I'm saying? So that person is trying to get you to explain something in a manner where you would lack confidence, and trying to use that as a subconscious strategy, so basically like again, because like in the court of law with the jury, you know what I'm saying, when they back and forth, the lawyer asking this person the question, that, like, see how you're fumbling over these questions, you must be lying, or you must be not knowing what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why a person will ask you questions that may not really deal with what you're dealing with, but asking these questions more so to kind of make you talk in a confusing manner, make you talk like you don't know what you're talking about. So with all the valid points you made, could start seeming like they're not so valid, and that's only through trickery, because they're still valid, you know what I'm saying, but it'll start to give that illusion that they're not valid if that person starts to make you seem like you don't know what you're talking about in a certain area. And again, it could be anything. It don't even have to deal with exactly what you were explaining, but just some type of way of vibe of trying to get you to just stutter and not have confidence in what you're speaking on. You know what I'm saying? And they use that as one of them things, like, you see, jury, you see, like, he can't even do it. You know what I'm saying? So just being aware of that too. I digress. Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.